What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And my guest is Coach Tony, who coaches girls basketball. And I'm going to ask him about his coaching life and many more. So, how you doing, Coach Tony?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. It's a pleasure to be on the show. I'm a big fan of you, New Media, all the other
No
guys that
doubt.
been on the show.
Thank you for that, my brother, man. And this is a series that I just started up called A Coach's Life. I want to ask you, my brother, how did you get into coaching? What was your drive to become a coach?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you know how a lot of people make comments saying, like, if you ain't never played the sport, how can you coach it?
Right.
Well, with me, I never played basketball in high school. Like, I really started playing basketball like going into my junior year. So I always watched it, but I just never played it. But what happened was uh, I was always around the game. Like at my alma mater, I was always at their games. I was always at their summer leagues, and I was always in their practices. And then I had a friend of mine. He was assistant coach at the time, John Burks. He was like, "Man, you might well far as high school, he was like, man, you might as well come on board and coach." But I started off coaching Pop Warner football. I was coaching like the 105s, and from then I started coaching the rec basketball. But I was coaching boys, and I always every year I always had like one or two girls on the team because in Miami in the leagues it's really no girl league. So a lot of the girls have to play with the boys. So that's how I started. So, once I got on with the high school as a volunteer coach, that's when I kind of fell in love with it.
That's dope, man. And coaching girls basketball, what is the joy to coaching young women who are chasing their dreams to either go to college or even make the WNBA?
Man, it's a blessing because I always say a lot of those girls changed me as a man, as a person, and uh, a lot of those girls, that basketball gym is their sanctuary because
Right.
they go through so much at the house, and to see a lot of these kids that's struggling at the house, that's going through so much at the house, and for me to help them accomplish getting a college scholarship as well as an academic scholarship, man, that bring me joy. And then also to see them getting a college degree and being able to help take care of their family.
Yeah, education is very important. And your coaching style, what do you try to implement on the court to lead to success for your teams?
These past these past two coaching stints, cause I only been a head coach for about what I say about 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, and then, I just got a new head coaching job like a month ago. But like my past two stints, I was dealing with kids who don't really play basketball during the off season, and with basketball is played year round. But the type of coach I am, I love man to man. Like I play some zone, but we got to get it on that defensive end because I learned early on. I had to send out tapes to a lot of college coaches, and they'll see a kid playing zone. They'll be like, "Coach, he look good in the zone, but what can she do in this man to man?"
Mm-hmm.
So I played a lot of man. So like I was blessed when I went to Booker T. Washington High School as an assistant coach, and when I went to Dr. Crop High School, I was able to have a lot of input on the defensive end. So at first, they played a lot of zone. I was like, man, we got too many athletes, man. We
Right.
got to play this man to man and get up in these kids' face. And Also, I'm really I see a lot of times a lot of coaches they love to overcoach. Like they got to run a play every trip down the court, and I'm like, if we can get it in transition, we don't have to run no plays every trip down the court. So that's my thing.
And I'm glad you do that, my brother. A lot of team coaches. I'm not trying to diss or anything, but you see teams, and I know you know this coach team. You see teams where they have coaches that have all the thoroughbred athletes. They're doing complex schemes and trying to overcoach. Why do they do not simplify their playbook when they have the talent to wreck shop, literally?
I don't know. A lot of these coaches, it's like they coach for the stands. They want to see
Right.
everybody, let them know that they know how to coach. And everywhere I've been, like sometimes, man, certain plays just not working. When you got that dog on your team, man, just get her the ball and keep it simple. A simple screen and roll. I mean, screen and roll been in the game for so many years, and it's still one of the hardest plays to stop.
It is. Man, I've seen this all my life, man. I've seen coaches say, we got to play the right way, a system. And when they have that dog right there on their bench and they're looking at them, they're talking about the system, you can look in the player's eyes and say, come on, man, let me just cook.
Exactly. I was like when I was at Dr. Crop, we had this one kid, Aisha Small. She went on to play at Baylor and finish a career at Maryland. And she was one of the top kids in the country at 6 foot. She played the 1 through the 4. Sometimes she played the 5 for us. And a lot of times teams would run boxing 1, triangle and 2. And I'd be like, man, let's keep it simple. If a team gonna go boxing 1 and they got these little 5'3", 5'4" guards, okay, we just gonna put her on the post. And we gonna post her up. Now when they double, she's a good enough passer to kick it out to the shooters. Keep it simple.
Oh, yeah, that's dope. Oh, and question, what kind of drills do you use to develop shooting ability for your team?
I'm man, I do orthodox things like me personally, like when I train kids, I always ask these parents, can I see film of these kids? And once I see film, I see like what shooting corrections they need far as with their techniques or whatever the case may be. And we'll go in the gym and I always used to film workouts. I always film workouts and I'll work on their shooting technique and I'll film it and we'll go back and look at it. And the times they shooting wrong, I can show them. And when the times they shooting right, I show them when they shooting right. And then when we get out there, I don't care what analytics say, you're gonna learn how to shoot mid-range jumpers with me. So I always start inside that 3-point line to just mostly work on focusing on techniques and then venture out to that 3-point line because a lot of these kids that start off young, they start off at that 3-point line and pick up the bad habits and them shooting forms.
Man, that's very informative, man. You see it all the time. With you see it all the time, coach. So, coach, we know that adversity comes with the game of basketball and sports in general. How do you motivate your players when things don't go their way?
Man, everywhere I coach, a lot of these kids have a story to tell. And I mean, a lot of these kids done been through so much and have a story. So with a lot of these newer kids, I can already reflect back on certain players. Like uh, with a lot of kids, man, they how I could say they lose their parents in the household and jumping from house to house. But that still didn't stop them from coming in that gym and putting in that work. And I tell a lot of these kids, man, a lot of y'all parents don't got that money to pay $40,000 and $50,000 a year for these colleges. You know what I'm saying? So make it easy for your parents and get in that gym and put in that work. But I also tell these kids, man, just like you want to be the best on that basketball court, you should always want to be the best in that classroom because y'all student athletes and student come before that for the athlete.
There's some good coaching right there. And what do you do when two players on your team are not getting along well? This happens a lot, believe it or not. I know, I know people want to look at old media and think everything's hunky dory, but the reality is there's going to be times when players don't get along and there's going to be friction. What do you do if that ever arises on a
Man, I
team?
mean, when you first see that problem, you got to nip it in the bud. And coaching boys and coaching girls, I always say it's harder with girls because girls, they more emotional. Guys are be mad at each other, and then 10 minutes later, they back hooping together. With these girls, they take it on the court. They don't want to pass it at each other. So you just got to have a sit down and be straight up with them. Let them know that with differences between them, they not hurting only them, they hurting this team. And everybody got to be a family and got to be on the same page. So that's the key. I think nip it in the bud. A lot of people they let it linger on, and then when it's too late, you can't do nothing with it. So I try to nip it in the bud early. And I'm a straight shooter with these players, and they respect that more than that fake.
Yeah, these players, especially today, they know what's real. They can see that with a character of a coach. So
Definitely.
all that kumbaya, my lord. So they don't want to hear it most of the time.
Yeah, these kids, man, whether you know it or not, these kids know when you know basketball and you don't
Right.
know basketball, and when you jiving them. Because a lot of these coaches, they want to be these kids' friends because they want to keep these kids at these schools. So these kids figure that out and hold these coaches hostage. So that's when they get to doing what they got to do because they gonna say, well, I ain't worrying about that because he need me, or I can go to another school. I'm the opposite. I want you to play in this program, but I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? This program gonna
Talk to
go
him,
on
coach.
with you or without you. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. Taufik says, Coach, what's your thoughts on Billy Donovan and his coaching schemes, especially with his three guard lineups and the my turn, your turn offensive scheme? Good
Man,
question.
I would be honest with you. I don't like I told DJ offline. I really don't watch NBA. I don't really watch NBA like that as much. I started back once Lamello started playing, and that got me back into the game or whatever the case may be. But I mean, as a coach, man, you got to do what's best for your team.
That's the number one objective is to do what's best. And I hope Billy Donovan could get that all rectified. You
Uh,
mentioned LaMelo Ball. Um, what made you become like a fan of his appreciation of his game?
Man, I was, I coached AAU and hoop jogging was good. Hoop jogging. Far as like with the boys program, we got a big boys program down here. Team breakdown. I mean, if you follow boys basketball, far as AAU, you should know who team breakdown is. But now, I was watching him. I always was watching him back then when he was in school or whatever the case may be, and then just to see his journey and once he got in that league and he reminded me of certain players that I had over the years that had that dog in him, and he got at it, and it was fun to watch. It was like night and day from watching him than Alonzo. You know what I'm saying? So he got me back into watching NBA basketball. To tell you the truth, and like I said, without Lamelo, I don't even know if I would have found your channel or Hoop Jogging channel or Flight TV channel. So, like I say, he was like a breath of fresh air for me.
Man, what the season he had, I've said this before, and you know me, I shoot it right from the hip. I don't give a damn if people don't like my opinion. That's how new media rolls. Uh, I pointed out that Lamellar Ball having a rookie of the year came at such important time for the family.
I agree.
Nothing was going on.
I agree 100%. That was big. That was big for that family and that brand. And old media didn't want that to happen.
No.
But you can't stop what's planned.
So we talked about Lamellar Ball. Um, what do you expect from him next season? What do you want him to do to take his game to another level?
I think he need to be a little selfish, a little more selfish this year. Because it was times last year, where he started cooking and he started passing that ball. So I would love to see him being a little more aggressive. And like I said earlier, as far as with that mid range game, I know he's in that lab working on that mid range game. So I know we can expect to see him score more in that on that mid range level.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
he gonna always attack that basket. And then because if he's more consistent shooting that three, man, it's gonna be a scary sight to watch this year.
I'm trying to tell him. And the mid range, young players got to take advantage of that. Defenses are barely guarding the mid range because they know that these young athletes, not all, but a majority of them, are not trying to shoot mid range shots. They're leaving it open for them.
Exactly. And I always tell kids you got to take what the defense gives you, because you have a lot of kids they gonna force it to the basket. But then like I tell a lot of kids, I'm like, if you play like that the whole season, you're not gonna last.
Hmm.
You're gonna take too much punishment, unnecessary punishment when you don't need to. If they in a zone or whatever, and that 5-man step up in the middle, you got to slow down and pull up and take that mid range, because
I'm gonna
that
give
just makes you more dangerous.
I'm gonna give you an example on this. This is what I'm talking about today's players and what they got to do to take advantage what the defense is giving right to them. Example: if if a team, opposing team, knows that a point guard would not attack the basket, what are they gonna do? They're gonna open the lanes.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, but I hate how even if they're given the lanes, right, the opposing point guard is gonna shoot threes.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna just speak for the high school level, the middle school level. Those kids being programmed. When I when I tell you, man, I go and watch a lot of these little practice of these middle school teams, the AAU teams. Only thing these coaches teaching these kids is to shoot threes and press. At least down here in South Florida, shoot threes and press, and that's all they know. You got a lot of high volume shooters down there. They gonna shoot a whole lot of threes, and I don't. I'm not with that, man. That's not teaching the game of basketball. And because I always tell my kids, man, watch watch the college level game and watch the WNBA game where they play below the rim. You'll learn more. You can't go out there and try to be Steph, because you ain't see that work Steph put in to shoot like that.
No doubt. I remember going to an AU game down here in Texas, and the coach yelled at his player, and I'm glad he did. Don't be out here trying to be Steph Curry. You're not Steph Curry. Nobody is.
But man, I went to go watch a friend of mine's coach a little AAU game. I think he was coaching like 10 and under, 11 and under, something like that. And the team that he played, of course, they had Golden State Warrior colors, and they had this little kid. He looked just like Steph Curry, had the sleeve and everything, and only shot he knew was the 3-point shot. He don't know that's a bad shot because his coach allowed him to take all them shots from that 3-point line. So like I said, it starts from that youth level, man. They they killing the game. Like down here in South Florida, man. I was always at a basketball game, whether it was girls or a boys game. I was at games every day. Man, this past year, man, the game of basketball has went down because these kids really don't know how to play the game of basketball. Most of them, they just, using their athleticism. So now when they go against a good team with good athletes and they take that away, then what you got? Oh,
Mm.
you just standing up on at the 3-point line like you stuck in quicksand. Like it's more to that than just standing. I'm like, and I preach that heavy. When I practice, when I do like shell drill 5-on-5, we'll do 4-on-4, and I'll do it without no dribbling. Okay, y'all got to be able to cut, and y'all got to be able to set screens. It's no dribbling. For y'all to score, you got to be cutting to the basket for a layup or coming off a screen. And I do that every practice until that stick in their head, muscle memory.
Man, this type of show is so important to learn the intricacies of basketball, and that's why it's a joy having you on here, um, Coach. Who are your heroes, like coaching wise? Who was a coach that you looked up to and appreciated?
Man, my biggest one I say John Thompson. I was a Georgetown Hoya fan, so I love everything about John Thompson, especially that time when he gave Allen Iverson that chance to play basketball. That was big for him. And what I loved about Thompson, playing in that Big East, it was slow down, man to man, give it into the post. But when AI got there, he adjusted to the players. He played up and down. But also, man, it was a couple. One thing with me, I never say I know it all as a coach. I'm always learning. I'm always with these veteran coaches. I'm always asking them questions and picking their brain. It was a coach. If you know for all you high school junkies, Miami High senior high school out in Miami. I mean, they won like about 15, 20 state championships or whatever. But Coach Shaky, when I was at Crop, he was coaching the boys. I always sit in his practices and I'll watch him. He was one of the all-time winningest coaching in Florida, and I always talk to him and pick his brain. And then also, rest in peace, Coach Marcia Pender. She passed away this year. She was the winningest coach in Florida history. She won like 996 games and won like 10 state championships. She was a big figure in Fort Lauderdale High School. She was a coach at Dillard for about 44 years. And that woman there, man, she meant so much to a lot of people in the community. Every chance I got, I always spoke to her. This lady would, a lot of her kids would play for different AAU teams, and she would jump on that plane or jump in that car, and she going tournament to tournament watching her kids play. She ain't had to do that. And those kids see that. And when those kids see you traveling all that way to watch them play, they know you care about them. You know what I'm saying? So she was one. You know what I'm saying? It's a few. I have a friend of mine. She coached at Miami Norland. Carla Harris. She played at the University of Miami. She's a great lady, great coach. She one of the best coaches to do it in Florida. And then a couple of my partners that's been coaching. Denov Johnson at Hialeah High School. My partner Gary Armstrong. He's not coaching now, but he last coached at Gulliver High School where Ray Allen coaching at now. He won a state championship out there. He was undefeated, ranked top 15 in the country. Got back and they got rid of him. That's the politics of the game, but we'll get
Right.
into that. But yeah, I'm inspired by a lot of people, doing it the right way. That's the key, doing it the right way, not just using these kids for their talent. Once the season over with, they don't care about their academic.
Man, so real. And brother, um, on this show, this panel, we talk about the game within the game and politics. If you could elaborate, what type of politics happens in the coaching game, especially to brothers and sisters who partake in this profession?
Man, it's I mean, it's like I have a partner where the AD sending notes during a game to the bench to give him like, oh, you got to play such and such player. And I'm
Mm,
like, I find that kind of crazy. Like, why not wait till after the game and go to that coach and ask him, why you're not playing certain players or whatever like that? Why during the game? And it's a lot, with certain parents donating money to certain schools, and you got to have that player on that team, and you got to play that player or else. You know what I'm saying? One thing with me, man, I don't know how to play the game. I rather don't coach than to play the game because it happens also on the AAU level where I remember one time I was coaching. I won't gonna say the name of the program, but I was coaching and I always told the kids, man, y'all like a second coach to me because there's a lot of things y'all see out there on that court that I don't see. So if you see something that ain't working or I need to try something, you come to me and let me know. So we playing that one tournament. We were playing like in a shootout, and we was getting ready to play in AAU Nationals when AAU National was the big thing. And after the game, a parent came to me. She was upset that I sat her kid down, and I told her we was down like 10, and that zone wasn't working, so we had to come out that zone and play man. And your daughter ain't wanted to play man, so I say, okay, well I'm gonna put somebody out there that want to play man. So director came to me and he was like, man, you got to play her, man, because her mama give her extra money and this and that. And as much as I love those kids, I told them, I say, oh, this what it's about. So I said, I tell you what, AAU National start tomorrow. You coaching them, I'm going back home
mm.
because I'm not gonna play that game.
Talk to him, coach.
I put in too much work and make too much sacrifices to be playing games like that. But yeah, and then another thing too, it be our own people, man. It be our own people trying to hold us back, man. Down here in South Florida, it's cutthroat, and like you have like these parents. Like I'll give you an example, man. There's one parent, man. I had the one kid, man. She was coming to my school. I was working her, training and working her since she was like in the sixth grade. So the parent, went to her parent and was like, I think you need to come to our school. Don't go over there. They not winning anything over there. We winning state championships over here. Would you want your daughter to come over here and this and that? Right? So the parent, one thing about her, she was a realist. She said, because I never asked the kid to come to my school, but she was like, man, when I first met Coach Tony, everything he said was gonna happen, happened. So she like, if he done got my daughter here this far, why would I send her over there when I can keep her here with him, where he can continue and help her grow as a player and a person? So, make a long story short, the guy, his daughter was a senior that year. So we in the gym. We getting ready for summer league, and this guy walk in the gym and he go to coach and he was like, can y'all help get my daughter in school, like put together some film and all that. And I'm like, well, dang, I thought you say such and such should have went over to this school because y'all winning state championships. It's bigger than that, man. It's state championship, that's cool, but the end all goal is to get these kids in school. So man, it's a lot of backstabbing out here, man. Kids, you have people come like, oh, he just using your kid and this and that. Come play for us. We with this brand and such and such. So it's crazy down here, DJ, man. It was a lot
Man,
of times, man. I was gonna have to come up with some bail money. But like I said, it's our own people. Like I told you, I know we talking about basketball, but remember when I told you offline with a partner of mine's coaching baseball, man, and you know, a lot of our parents, we only send our kids to do two things in the hood: play basketball or football. So he trying to get a lot of African American kids to play baseball. So he at a certain school and he putting in that work. The school don't want to help fix the field. So he got to go out, get donations from different places to be able to fix the field. And, he was able to have a good season. The football coaches, even every time when the kid wanted to go play baseball, they were like, no, you ain't playing baseball. But in these meetings, I thought if a kid wanted to play a different sport, they was allowed to play that sport. So, like I told you, he ended up winning a ESPY, and that was big. Ain't nobody down here want no ESPY from ESPN. And when they called that AD, so he can announce it to him, that AD was like, he busy. Give it to such and such to give it to him. Like, how
mm,
can you do that? And that's our people. And also like I've been coaching and training for over 20 years, DJ. And what be funny to me, like I give a parent my card for training, and they'll look at me like, you know how to train people? But then take them down the street to them other people because they feel they know more than us, and they charging them an arm and a leg when throughout my year of coaching and training, 95% of the kids that I trained, I did it for free, for the love. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go to an AAU event, they asking the parent, "Well, dang, who kid this is? Who her trainer?" And the parent would be like, "Coach Tony." Now they looking sick in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, you also have, I don't know if you notice, like, um, a lot of our people won't allow you to talk to their kids a certain way, but then when they go play for somebody else, they allow them to go all out on them. And I just can't get that.
man, you're not lying, Coach. And since you're from Florida, in Miami, you definitely understand what I'm about to say. There's a academy, IMG, right?
Yeah.
I was watching the Bishop Sycamore game because it was on TV, but their coach was yelling at a player. I mean, yelling, and I was telling myself, I bet the parents don't mind this white coach to do it.
Yeah.
But when it's our own, and shout out to Hoop Jargon again for the $5 super chat. He said, "This is all truth. This is fire. Thank you, my brother, and subscribe to his channel." But that's that crab in the barrel mentality I've been talking about, and it all makes sense even more. Uh, Shout out to my late father. Rest in peace to him. he would always tell me, son, this is a reality when you grow up. Because you know I'm not gonna sugarcoat with you. But all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
I agree with that 100%.
That resonated. That I was like, wow, that's powerful. Like I when I was young, I didn't want to believe it. And who jargon says I literally know coaches that played players or gave a scholarship to holler at mama.
Oh my God, hoop! I ain't gonna leave it. I ain't gonna leave a touch on that. Hoop,
Oh man.
hoop! I ain't gonna leave a touch on that.
Woo.
A lot of these coaches got ulterior motives, man. Why they coaching? A lot of these coaches attach themselves to kids, to 14 and 15-year-old kids. Now they won't go get this kid who don't know how to play, but you can see that potential. They gonna get these ready-made kids and get them in the gym and tweet about that or go on Instagram like they got that kid the way they are.
Mm. Who jargon said I'm not exaggerating at all. I know I believe you.
Oh, I already trust me. I already know because it a lot of times, man. You'll watch a game and you be like, why is this kid out there? And then after the game, you see they parent. Okay, I understand now. I understand. I'm not hating, but I understand.
You look at that mama.
Yep, that's basically what it is. And man, like I tell these parents, man, I'm not. If I gotta pay your rent, if I gotta pay phone bills and all that to keep your kids at my school, man, you might as well go ahead on. I'm not gonna do it. You
Man, I
know,
respect coaches like that.
I done had such because we'll get on that later, far as with the NCAA and these state laws, far as helping these kids out, because it really targeted to our kids, but we could touch on that later.
No doubt. Uh Taufik says, Coach Tony, have you ever thought of coaching college basketball?
Nah, I don't have my college degree. If I had a degree, I'd have been a college coach about 15 years ago because I have a lot of connection as far as on that college side. I've made a lot of relationships with a lot of coaches, and I done coached and trained some of the best players in the country. When I started off coaching, I came my first stint, like I say, as a volunteer coach was on a highly ranked team with highly ranked players. Like we had like 7, 8 D1 players on that team easily. But what I do try, it's a lot of female coaches that come back from college and trying to get in the game. I be trying to encourage them to get into coaches because I love to see more women coaching girls than men. But I understand some might have kids and that might take away from what they doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of burden on them. So most of them rather be assistant coaches, but I love for more of them to be head coaches out here.
Powerful, man. And hoop jargon, man. I'm glad you posted this. He stated, I coached middle school in 2013, and I literally had an ex high school classmate of mine whose kid went to my school. I coached that charged me up on Facebook for cutting her kid. True story. Sad, man. That's
Ooh.
politics.
I don't want to put it out there now, but when we get off live, I'm gonna tell you about the one little school and why they got rid of my friend from coaching.
Oh boy.
It was
Yeah, that's
big, big
definitely behind
major
closed
politics.
doors.
I'm gonna let you see. I can't say it over here because
Right.
I don't know if he want me to put it out there like that.
I respect that though, coach. I respect that because you know how it is. Some people get in these interviews. He
Yeah,
said, "Let me just say it," and then
yeah,
they'd be done with the interview and said, "Damn, I said too much."
yeah, man. It's man. It's crazy, man. See when like one thing with me, like I told you, I'm an introvert. I pretty much be to myself. I'ma always be at basketball games. Like I have people come to me, where I know you from? I be like, you probably seen me at a basketball game. They be like, that's right. And like I told you, majority of the training and stuff I did it for free, for the love. So when people be trying to put that smut on my name, man, I take it serious. I do it for the love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, man, coaching basketball, man, it's more than being a coach, man. You become fathers, you become big brothers, you become that positive figure, male figure in these kids' life, man. So, it's times, man, DJ, man, I take a kid home after games and I might drop them off at 89th Street. The
Mm.
next week, I'm making that same route, and the kid like, "Where you going, coach?" And I'm like, "What you talking about? I'm taking you home." No, coach. You pull up to the house, everything black, cause we got evicted. So now got to scramble up, try to find where their family members stay at, or try to get one of the kids that play on the team to allow them to sleep there. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. That why when I was talking about that NCAA stuff, that's crap. Like I say, me going to games a lot. I remember I was at Booker T. Washington. They known for football out here, and some of the kids used to always want to go with me to games, and I really didn't understand because a lot of these kids that was action didn't really love the game like that. But one thing they knew, Coach Tony was greedy, so Coach Tony was either gonna eat before a game or I'm gonna eat after a game. And a lot of times, you'll get these kids meals and they really won't eat it. And I had to put two and two together. I'm like, you dropping these kids off in the heart of the ghetto and they got 5 and 6 siblings in a one bedroom, and that meal I brought them gonna help feed them and their siblings. Because without that meal, they don't eat that night.
Man, Uncle Vern, shout out to Uncle Vern. He said you become responsible now. That's part of coaching. When Coach Tony talks about being a father to many kids, that's true. That's the responsibility you have being a coach. Uh, I'm tired for some coaches. There's great coaches all around, but I'm tired of these type of coaches who sees coaching as a way to elevate their careers.
Yeah, yeah. Most just doing it to try to get a college job or whatever the case may be. They not doing it for the love. I get it. But one thing, we don't make much money down here in South Florida. You'll figure with all the athletes we'll get paid, we don't make that much money down here. Like
Sad.
like public school head coach job is 2,400. That's it. But I'm probably around them kids more than they parents around them kids. You know what I'm saying? Basketball year round, so you with these kids year round. You going from high school to spring leagues to summer leagues to AAU. So
Yep.
it's hard, man. It's a lot of sacrifices you got to make, man. A lot of times half of my stipend I take and I put that towards when I got a top player in the country and she getting an invite to USA basketball team camp or something the case may be, and I know this gonna benefit her in the long run, but she can't go because her parents don't got the money. Okay, so I'm finna, like I say with that NCAA, I don't care what they say. I'm finna take part of that stipend money that I had. Okay, we gonna get these plane tickets, or we gonna get these cars, and we gonna drive up there. We gonna get these hotels so you can get in front of these scouts, the McDonald All American representatives, because I know it's gonna better you. Because what that's gonna do now, because now when you get your name out there, when you come back, now our high school team get invited to the big tournament. So when they come to see you, they got to see the rest of these kids because every college coach can't get that one kid.
Man. And before we roll out, Coach, I wanted to talk about the NIL. The NIL, this is something that should have happened a long time ago. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I did not like the NCAA's governing board in the past punishing kids
Yeah, it's
for
horrible.
small stuff. So if an AU coach pays for groceries for a family, they'll take that into, oh, they're accepting money and bull crap. While
Man,
everybody's living comfortable where they're living in. I'm talking about the NCAA.
because it's targeting our kids, man. What you think I'm gonna do? I got a kid, man. I'm me and they parent real close, and that parent hit me up. Look, Coach Tony, the lights about to get cut off, or this rent due, and I only got a certain amount of money. You think I'm gonna let them be out there in the streets? If I got it, even if I don't got it, I'm still try to make it happen. Man, the stories I hear with a lot of these kids when I first met them, that sometimes they had to stay in shelters, man. I'm not gonna let that happen on my watch. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what the NCAA say, man. They think because these kids going to these schools with these scholarships that, okay, everything okay, you getting meals. Man, these kids still struggling, man. A lot of these kids, once they get their little money, they got to send that off home to their family, to their mama, because they got siblings at the house.
Mm. They don't understand our people, and then they try to put all these stipulations because they don't want us to have a system where our culture and our people can benefit. Anything that requires benefiting is a problem, and I'm glad we're discussing it. Uh, uh, Uncle Vern says, "Do you know a coach uh, from Alta, South Carolina? She's a
Nah,
major
nah,
college coach."
nah, I don't. But
Oh,
also, what I wanted to say too, we got to help each other. And one thing I want to give a big shout out to, like I was telling you about the big AU program down here, Team Breakdown. I want to give a shout out to Gerald Gillian. He's one of the brothers that ran, one of the younger brothers that ran that AU program, and he just got a job, a head coaching job at Chicago State University. And you know what he did, DJ? He went and got his old high school coach from out here in Miami that had moved to North Carolina, was coaching in North Carolina, Barrington Terry. He went and got him and put him on the staff. And he also went and got one of his former teammates who was coaching in Miramar at Miramar High School, Jermaine Stevens, who won the state championship last year. He went and got him and put him on the staff. And to me, that's big. That's a step in the right direction for me. We all need to do that. We can't get at that top and forget our people.
no doubt, man. That's what it's all about, man. Being an olive branch to others, community building, putting people on. That's what we should do. We should do that. It feels good when you know you played a part into someone elevating their career, and you do it the right way.
No
The
doubt.
best feeling in the world. Coach Tony, thank you for being on the show. We'll definitely have more of these a coach's life on this platform. You're always welcome. And any
Man,
last words, OG?
man, like I told you, man, when we chopped it up in the DM, I, I'm an introvert, so I'm quiet. I'm gonna talk about sports and stuff like that. But this here is new to me. But if I can get it out there and help other coaches or whatever, I'm here for it because I love, like I said, I love what you're doing, man. I
Thank
want
you.
you to continue to do the good work, man, and everybody else like Rev, Coach Joe, man. Coach, because a lot of times, man, you be streaming by 2 o'clock in the morning, so I be having to get up 5 so I can get out the street. And sometimes, man, I be listening, man, and I hear Coach Joe and that passion, man. I be wanting to get up and log in and hop on StreamYard, man. Man, salute to Coach Joe, man. He's
No
a real
doubt.
one to salute Coach Hoop Jogging and Flight Sports TV and everybody out there doing their thing, man. Keep it positive, man, and keep spreading that message. I mean, we all can agree to disagree. So, man, thank you once again for having me on this platform, DJ.
Always. And this is DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Like, and importantly, share the video. You ain't gonna get anything realer than most platforms. The names he listed, like, share, subscribe to their channels. This is a big time, man. We're gonna do more of the coach's life. Peace and blessings. Be the best person you can be. Operate in a good conscience, and let's roll.